danger.
Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. I'm Vince Collier with Encompass Lending Group. I'm also known as the Lone Ranger. I hope everybody's had a great week since our last blog. Today I'd like to talk about something called DTI. DTI is your debt to income ratio. So many people call me and they put in an application online or over the phone or whatever, and they always ask me, well, how much do I qualify for? How much house can I buy? And I always kind of smile and look at them and go, well, what do you want your payment to be? Because really and truly, that's the true question. We have people all the time that can afford to qualify for a $300,000 house, but do they want a $2,000 a month payment? So the right question to ask yourself when you're looking at buying a home isn't how much do I qualify for, but what do I want my payment to be? And going hand in hand with that, being qualified is based on what's called your debt to income ratio. Now there's two parts to the debt to income ratio, a front end and a back end. The front end ratio is based on your gross monthly income versus your house payment. Now normally that's right around 30% as a benchmark, if you will, for most loan programs. So if you figure you have $3,600 a month, you're going to be able to qualify for around $1,200 a month house payment. That's going to be the way you're qualified. Now the back end ratio is your total debt to income ratio. So you basically take all of your debt, that's your credit cards, your car payments, anything that's going to populate on your credit report, and those monthly payments are all added up and added to the house payment for your total debt to income ratio. Now normally that needs to be around 45 to 48% in reality, although most loan programs do have a little leeway as far as what qualifies you there. So that's kind of what you want to look for. Remember too, your total debt to income ratio, it doesn't have anything to do with your electric bills and your phone bills and things like that. It's only based on what gets reported to your credit report. So if it doesn't show up on the credit report, when I go to qualify you for the loan, I'm only going to look at what's there. Okay? So you have two things, your debt to income ratio front end, which is just your house payment, to your gross monthly income, and your total debt to income ratio, which is around 48% to 50% sometimes, hint, hint, for most folks, for your total debt to income ratio. So remember, when it comes to buying power, that debt to income ratio is critical as far as what you can afford on a house. So that's this week's blog in the can. So I wanted to go ahead and let everybody know that I won't be available next week because I'm going to be on a cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean. Very excited about that. Taking the boys on a cruise for their 21st birthday. So we figured at least that way we could keep them in a confined space after they've turned 21. So anyway, I'm going to try and figure out how I can get this blog published from the ship. Now how cool would that be to get next week's blog from Jamaica? Ha! If it can happen, I can do it. So another week, another dollar. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week or maybe the week after. And remember, the Lone Ranger writes again.